Hello everyone, welcome to this session. And today we are going to learn about rock your data with Power Query. And just now we have a simple chat while waiting. So now I just want to know what is your Excel version. Yeah, please type in the chat what is your Excel version. Is it 2021, 2019, 2016? And what's your Excel version? Okay, NSW 2016. How about the rest? 365. Thank you, Nadira. Joanne 365. Good, good. Okay, 2016, 365. Okay, today we are going to learn about how to use Power Query in the Mac. And just for your information, we are going to cover using Mac. If you are using Windows, you could follow along. You could just observe how things work. The screen slightly different and how it works in Mac is very different than how it works in Excel because the one of the biggest things how it works differently. Mac unable to load the data within the same file directly. This first one. And currently Mac unable to load the data from a folder. Currently is unable to do this too. Meanwhile, for Windows, we are able to achieve these two very easily inside Power Query. And just want to know how many of you, if you have heard about, if you know how to use Power Query, please type number one. If you have no idea what is all about Power Query, please type number zero. Yeah, please type in the chat. Number one, if you know how to use, if you know Power Query. Number zero, if you have no idea about what is this. Okay, good. We can see most of you reply with zero, and one people reply with number one, and another person reply with number two. That is very interesting. We have a pro in the room. Okay. Uh, so we are going to learn about this one, and before that, we want to know why we want to learn about Power Query, because uh, by the tool itself, there are so many tools out there. There are so many functionalities and features. Without knowing the why or the purpose, it's not easy for us to really appreciate the things we are going to learn today. First, I want to let you know, Power Query allows us to organize our data, and so that we are able to analyze it later using something like pivot table, using formulas, and so on. And when we're talking about the good data, different people has different definition or different understanding. So now I want to share with you this concept or this framework. It allows you to see the data very, very differently after this. And now just type in the chat. What is guess what is this? Yeah, type in the chat. What is this? No right, no wrong. Just guess what you see on the screen. If you have seen this before, you can type wrong answer. If you have not, guess whatever you could, whatever you see. Okay, Samsudin says black. Tian Yan Fen, it says black. LB say whole. LCH say cloud. Black. Joanne says that. Okay, black spot in the white background. Okay, very good. Okay, we have dark prints, huh? That is very interesting answer, Roger. Okay, dark prints. So this is what we could guess, and you could see the answer is varies because what we can see on the screen is very limited. There's so much details, and we could see on the surface itself. Look at the surface. Is this a rough object or is a smooth object? Is it a rough one or a smooth one? Yeah, you can see there's a jagged edges, there's small edges. Yeah, it's rather a rough one, not smooth. Yep, thank you, Samsudin. So if you want to know more about this particular object, because everything is dark, that is a moment I want to switch on the light so that we are able to see what is on the surface. This is a rock retrieved during Apollo 15 mission from the moon. Interesting. First time I was thinking, The rock from outer space maybe grow in dark, like the Spider-Man or Superman, the kryptonite grow in green color. Maybe has some special effect. Look on the surface. Yeah lah, okay, the color just quite common rock. Uh, okay, and this one is okay lor, not so much. And that is a moment we can see there's big and small holes. There are so many things here. And if I want to know more particular about this particular object, that's the moment I need to switch off the light and so that I could place a sample of the rock under microscope. This is a very colorful photo taken from the moon of rock. Interesting, huh? So a same object, we could see it, we could observe it from a three different perspectives. From a very high level, quick and dirty way, solid way. You just see in the outline. Everything is black. And if I want to know more a little bit, that's moment we check on the surface. If I really want to know what is it inside, that is a microscopic level. Same object, three level of inspection. That means we are able to perform such inspection with our data. ROCK. So I just want to share this framework with all of you. By using this framework, we are able to check whether our data need to do some correction so that it's easier to analyze later on. R stands for rectangle. It's just like the solid of the rock. We want to check our data doesn't have any blank rows, doesn't have any blank columns, and the data grows vertically, and it doesn't have any merge cells. O. O stands for only one. We want to check on our data spreadsheet, make sure one cell has one data, one record, one row, and one header. C. Careful, because our data may have traps, such as extra spaces, decimal, date with or without the time. K is very, very important. In order for us to reuse our data over and over again and able to share with our colleague, we want to make sure we keep raw data raw. There are three things we don't want to do. We don't want to change the data directly. We don't want to add any new columns in between the data, and do not use any color coding. Let's go through some of the examples here. Rectangle, no blank rows and columns. In your work, have you seen something like this? Some people, they add a blank rows, blank columns just to segment the data. Maybe different months, different branch, or different products. Have you seen something like this before? Yes or no? Please let me know in the chat. Yeah, thank you, Salini. Thank you, Raja, Silvan. Thank you. Okay, so this kind of thing is very, very common. And for us, we break the data or we somehow categorize them using blank rows and columns. It's okay for human. If I want to analyze this kind of data with a lot of blanks, Excel may behave very, very differently. So that is a moment we want to remove all the blank rows and columns to make it one continuous block like the one on the right side. So this is about blank rows and column. The next one is about how the things appears on the screen. Sometimes the report we export from a system, it appears in this table form, where whenever we have new months, it will appears towards the right side. Whenever I have new data or text data in this context, it will appear towards the bottom. So this kind of table, it doesn't have any consistent number of columns, and it always expands to all directions. This kind of data is not easy to analyze because whenever there's a new column added, I need to adjust my formula again. In order to make the thing easier for analysis, we want to make sure our table or our data appears in this vertical format. And you will see the alpha, everything goes vertically, and the number goes vertically. Same goes with the date. When we have more data, it will appear at the bottom. So this means vertical table. And by the way, whenever we are doing all these things, we want to ensure the data is easy to analyze. Later on, we are going to use Power Query to help us to achieve all those things, to reorganize or restructure our data to make it easy to analyze later on. So this is vertical table. So let's continue to the merging. I believe this one you have seen this before. Have you seen this before? Just curious. Merging. Example, 10, 20, 30, they belongs to alpha. Yes. If I filter the data for alpha, I only see number 10 because 20 and 30, they are blank. This is how the behavior of merging. If I want to analyze this kind of data like this one on the left side, I will have a lot of blanks and a lot of discrepancy with the data. To make it easier or much more accurate for analysis, we want to make sure there's no merging, like the one on the right side. So this is about rectangle, something we could do the checking or inspection very fast and quick. And the next one is only one, yes. And like the one on the left side, you will see it's a very compact data, very compact table. And some people may be using comma to combine multiple similar entry together. And some, they will be using a dash or dot to indicate a range. The one on the left side looks okay until boss is asking for a report. If boss is asking, hey Tai, how many total days are there in the data? I will not able to use any formula because of this kind of data structure. Maybe boss is asking for what's the total number? I will not able to use a single formula to quickly to get the result out because the comma, it makes the calculation very, very tedious. So what we need to do, make sure everything spread out like this one. One cell, one data, like this one by one. It goes for the number, same for the date. And the next one is Bravo, the number and the date. And the header, whenever I see the header like the one on the left side, it has more than one, and meanwhile the one on the right side is one. That means it's easier to analyze, and Excel doesn't confuse whenever it only has one header. And the data on the left side is multiple rows combined and multiple data combined in a single row, single horizontal line. And the one on the right side only has one row per record. We want to make sure our data is like the one on the right side. So we have R, we have O. What is the next letter? Yeah, please let me know in the chat. What's the next letter? We have R, we have cover O. What's the next one? C. Yes, thank you, T1. Thank you, Ong Big, and thank you, Samsudin. So it's C. Careful, yes. Visually, could you tell any differences between these two phrases? Excel Sifu. Yes or no? Could you tell any differences visually using your eyes? Not easy. If you're able to say it's easy, I will need to learn how from you. Yeah, visually it's not easy because the space is at the end. Yeah, it's not easy. And sometimes we get the data may have extra spaces. Towards Excel, extra space means a different data. So just be careful about this one. So that's the space. The next one is because of the formatting, the decimal doesn't show on the screen. It means the data is still there. So you need to be careful about decimal places. The next one is date and time. Date and time is a very interesting topic by itself. Like over here, it looks okay. It's just showing a date. If I deep dive, I will see the time is hiding behind. And for the date and time, it could be a various different format. Sometimes our data could be day, month, year, Monday, year, or year, month, day. This kind of data is very, very tedious to handle in a normal Excel. If you are able to use Power Query to handle such data, it's very, very easy. So this is about careful. So let's come back to the framework. We have R, we have O, we have C. What's the last letter? Yeah, please type in the chat what is the last letter we are going to cover. Yes, we are going to cover K. K means keep raw data raw. The first thing, we do not want to change the data directly, even though it appears simpler. Okay, for example, in my reports, I only need these three records for some analysis, for just a quick, simple report. And I need to do a number conversion by adding a zero at the back. Mathematically, if I want to add a zero at the back, it's equivalent to multiply by 10. Yeah, multiply by 10. In my head, I was thinking, hello, I only need to do this myself, only three records. Why I need to trouble myself by adding another formula just for that purpose? Okay, so I'm not doing that. I just add a zero myself. Everything works perfectly if I want to do the same exact job until retirement. Guess what? I will not have that chance because my boss may get me to do some other things or some other projects, and I need to hand over the work. Same to you all. Perhaps one fine day you will get promoted and you need to hand over your current role or current task to someone else or to your colleague. So if normally I would do something like this one by showing or explaining how this thing works, by adding a column in between the existing data, which is very, very common things people do. If I do this, still okay, I will just explain, hey, and next time you want to do some calculation, this is just multiplied by 10. It's very common people add the formula in between the data. Everything looks okay. If my colleague is not careful enough, my colleague presume, hey, I just copy the new data and paste it to the report file, and guess what happened? The formula got overwritten. This is why a lot of time people struggle. Why I could not just copy the new data and paste it and all the formula just work? Because the formula is between them. So that's why it cannot. So how to go around this one? That is the moment we want to push all the formulas column towards the end. So that next time, whoever want to use this report, you just copy the new data and paste it over to the report file, and the formula just stay there. It doesn't get overwritten. It makes the thing not easy to see, but it's easy to update. So this is what we want to do with our data and the formula. And after a while, people will say, hey, Dai, Excel, very boring. Oh. Just curious. And do you think Excel data is very boring? Yes or no? Please let me know in the chat. No standard answer, no right, no wrong. Some people say, hey, Excel data very boring. Only black and white. No color one. Yeah, no color. What does that mean? Yeah, that is moment people start using color like this one. Some people, they be using green to indicate something they have done. They may use gray for something they have cancelled. Have you seen this before? People use color to indicate different meaning of the data. Yes. Yeah. Yes, yes. You've seen it before. That is very common. Super duper common. For same color, same name, different people has different definition. For a typical guy like me, I'm very typical one. In my world or definition of the green, I will say it's called dark green, light green, and whatever in between them is called. Guess what is the color in between them? Between dark green and light green. It's called green. I not blue lah. Hello. I know you're testing me. Okay, it's called green. Uh, For some people, they have a different elegant names for green. Yes, they it's a different name of the green until they could have A to Z like this. Yeah, something like this. You may notice some different name, different greens for the different color here, or different name for the green. Like example, matcha green is not here. If these two people they are talking to each other, they are going to have a good fight. Hey, which green you are talking about? So that is just talking about the green. Understanding of the green is different. What if for a computer, pure green is more than 25, more than 26, more than 100, slightly higher than 200. So there's a 254 shades from the lightest to the darkest, like this one you see on the screen. So sometimes people will be asking Ty, hey, do you see any way to summarize the data based on their color? Technically, it's possible. Practically, not viable. If the person uses a slightly lighter or darker of the tone, towards human eyes, we can't tell the difference. Towards computer, they are different. So this is the reason why it's very difficult to analyze the data by their color if we highlight them. So what we do, we want to make sure there's either a column or some indicator with our data. Subsequently, we could ask Excel, hey Excel, when you see something on the status equal to done, change the whole row to green. When you see the status equal to cancelled, change the whole row to gray. So this is much more viable method we want to use. So that is about K. Yeah, Toby also colorblind will have a problem. Yes, you're right. Yeah, this is when we are doing report the color is another consideration. So now we know this is about how to organize the data. Let's recap this one together because later on we are going to use the first letter R to learn how we're able to restructure and reorganize our data. Let's continue. Let's recap. And this is the moment I want to invite you to participate by typing. By typing. Okay, the R. R stands for, yeah, please type in the chat. Rectangle. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you, Yemfen. Thank you, um, Payfen, Raja, Joanne. Yes, rectangle. We want to make sure our data doesn't have any blank rows, no blank columns, and it grows vertically and it doesn't have any merging. O. O stands for only one. Yes, only one. One cell, one data, one record, one row, and one header. C, C. C stands for careful. Yes, good. We want to make sure our data do not have all these traps like extra spaces, decimal date without the time. K, K stands for keep raw data raw. Yes, Payphone. Yanphone. Okay, very fast. Do you want keep raw? Okay. Too fast. Type too fast. Okay, keep raw data raw. There are three things we don't want to do in our Excel. Wow, some students type the acronym. Acronym for this one. Good. We do not want to change our data directly and no new column in between our data and do not use any color coding. After I shared this one for a couple of years, I realized this is not enough because there are so many common struggles and so many common scenarios people may be facing, especially they are using the data inside Excel. So how to go about this one? And I published a book called Rock Your Data. And this book it shows the root causes for many struggle people may encounter in Excel or spreadsheet. And it uses something called generalized principles. It doesn't show how to do this. It just show what to achieve or what to avoid. It just show that whenever something using generalized principles, it is valid for the next 100 years or next century. So that also means if you really master this framework, you could do a lot of good thing with this. And perhaps you could earn extra income as well. So this one has a special course called Rock Your Data with Power Query, which is we're going to learn one of it. And this book is available in MPH, Popular, and Kinokuniya. If you are their members, you could get the book with a discounted price. Okay, so this is a ROCK. Later on, we are going to learn how to use Power Query. After that, we are going to use some of the examples in the rectangle, the R. Sometimes the data is not in the rectangle form. It has a horizontal and vertical. I want to make them as vertical. Sometimes the data has merging. How could make the thing unmerge and then get the data, no blanks in between them. So this is what we are going to learn later on. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn about this. So now we are going to open our file. Let me give you a big picture. That's a quick recap. Power Query in Excel, in Mac, and also in Windows slightly different. There are two major distinctions. In Windows, the Power Query able to get the data from itself and go straight to Power Query. Inside Mac doesn't have that. We need to use another way to work around. Later on, I will show you how. This is the first one. Second one, in between them, the Mac and Windows, Mac unable to get the data from a folder. Meanwhile, Windows were able to get multiple data files from a folder. Straight away, go to Power Query. So this is aware. Now we are going to learn how to do this together. So let's go to the file. Hey, where is that thing? Okay. Yep. Let's go to the folder number one. Folder number one. General data transformation. General data transformation. Let's open the file. You will see something like this. Let me make it larger. If you are able to see this file, or once you are able to open this file, please type number one. Type number one if you are able to see this. Yeah, once you have opened this one. Good. So now I want to load this data from this file to the Power Query. And then later on, I want to bring this data or the result back to this one, back to here. So first step, I want to do this one. This one is a bit interesting. Because Power Query unable to load the data from itself back to itself. So unable to do so. So we want to treat this one as an external file. Not every laptop, the newer version of Excel will have it. 365 definitely have it, and some other version it may have it. This one for Mac, yeah. For Windows since 2019 or 2016, you have it. For Mac, I can't remember which version. I'm using 365 at this present moment. So now we are going to, just to double check on your computer, see whether you have this. If I go to data, on the far left side, do you see there's something called Power Query? Yes or no? Please let me know in the chat. Do you see this one? Yes or no? Okay, good. Good. Thank you for responding. And if you are able to see this one, that means you are able to continue with what we are going to learn. If you do not see this, maybe you need to update your Excel. Yeah? Because some Excel version doesn't have it. If you do not have this one, it's okay, you could continue because it will give you a new idea. In between, you could ask the question. Should be there on the left side. Yeah, got good. Okay, so very first step, we want to convert it into an Excel table first. I want to convert into an Excel table first, so that later on we are able to load the data to the Power Query. Let me think. Actually, it's not necessary for Mac. Mac is not necessary. Okay, let's skip that one. Let's skip that one to make the things simpler for all of you here. And now I have this part. I want to load data from itself back to itself. We go to data, get data, and you will see a lot of options here. A lot of options here. It doesn't say to load the data from itself. It doesn't say that. And it has something called from Excel workbook. Excel workbook. That means we are able to load itself back to itself. Very interesting way. Okay. So now let's click on Excel workbook. And you ask us where is the file. Let's browse to the file you have, the learning you have, and the file we are open at this present moment called General Data Transformation, and click Get Data. After you click on the Create Data, on the lower right corner, yes, a button called Next. Click Next, and it will ask us a little bit more things. So this is the time we want to choose which worksheet we want to import. So this is called text transform. Let's go to the worksheet called text transform. Check on that. Check on that. And whenever we select this, it will show how the data looks like on the right side. And you'll notice the very first row, it should be the header, but it's not there. Okay. Okay. How could you get the Excel? Do you mean get this Excel form? Because I got a private message. And let me reply this one. What do you mean by that? You want to get this Excel file? It's in the chat group. Yeah, check on the chat group. Yeah. Yeah, chat group should have it. Or let me send it to the chat group here again. Okay, wait a moment. Okay, I sent to the Zoom chat. Are you able to get it? Okay, I just sent into the Zoom chat. So let's continue here. I have this part. Everything's here. And now I want to do some data correction. Inside, in normal terms, people may be saying data massaging, data cleaning, data integration, and there's a lot of names. So in general, it's called data transformation. So in the middle, you will see there's a button between cancel and load. Yes, button called transform data. And it might change the name. It might change the name in the future, because previously it was called different name. Now it's called transform data. So if next time when you see your Excel updates and somehow the name is no longer the same, do not need to panic. Just click the button in between cancel and load. Let's go here. Transform data. Transform data. You will go to a place called Power Query Editor. If you're able to follow up to this one, please type number 2. Any question, please type number 0. Okay. NSW, what do you mean edit? I'm not quite sure. Are you referring to the button transform data? Oh, yes. Sometimes in a different version, it might change as well. I think you're using 2019. Yes, only edit. Just click the button in the middle. Oh, 2016 shows edit. Yeah. Different version, it might change different things a bit differently. Good. So now we're inside here. Let me quickly walk through what are the things inside Power Query Editor so that later on we are able to quickly to come back here. Home, it shows what is the general thing people do inside Power Query. For example, they could refresh the data. They could remove certain columns, certain rows. They could do the sorting. These are the common things people may be doing. Secondly, go to transform. By the way, different version, the screen may be slightly different, yeah? Okay, now we just know the general thing. Transform, it has a lot more options for to do data transformation. For example, it was horizontal, we could make it vertical using transpose. Or if I want to split the data, we want to make the like a table, we could use unpivot column. So this is about transform. The next one is about add columns. Add columns, we could add a column using some calculation, or we could clone a column, and etc. View allows us to do some setting on how it shows on the screen. Over here, I want to let you read all to test out something like this one. We go to view. On the left side, there's something called query setting. Let's click on query setting multiple times and you will see something appears and disappears on the screen. See that? Yes. Next time, if you close this one and you want to bring it back, you could just use this button to bring it back, or you could go to view and click on the query settings. Okay. So this is how we're able to hide and show the query settings, yeah? And help. It just basically shows some keyboard shortcuts. And if you have some things you want to, you could click, it shows some keyboard shortcut. Okay, let's see. Get the data, Control AD, Mac, okay. Enter data, okay, data preview. There is a few things, very nice. So this is about the keyboard shortcut. Now, we have done this part. And on the bottom, it has three parts. It has three parts, yeah? There's a left, middle, and the right. Left, it shows what are the data we have loaded on the screen. Currently, we have only loaded a data called text transform. And this text transform, we may have a lot of options, a lot of steps taken, and it will show on the right side. It shows all the steps. Based on the selected steps, it will show how the data looks like in the middle. Okay, it will do all these things. So now this one is have done. So I have a question. I could go to the Power Query editor like what I show on the screen. Okay, let me redo this one because some of us needs a quick refresher. For those of you are here, stay here. Let me quickly go out and guide some of us. Okay, so now I'm in the general data transformation. I go to data, go towards left side, get data. And on the upper left corner, it says Excel workbook. Click on the Excel workbook and it will ask me where is the file. There is a moment we browse back to the same file. Browse back to itself, yeah, called general data transformation. Browse back to itself. After that, click get data. Get data. After you click get data, this dialog on the lower right corner, there's a button called next. Click on the next, and because this is an Excel file, it will show a lot of worksheets and it will ask us which worksheet we want to import. So I click on text transform, make sure there's a checkbox, check that, and it will show how the text transform looks like. Once it's selected, click the button in between cancel and load. Just a button in between them. In my version, I just click transform data. Get data and then click on the Excel workbook. Excel workbook and browse the file. Okay, let's click transform. So now we're back here. For those of you are unable to follow, you watch this one. Later on, we will go through again. If you need to import two worksheets, you could just click multiple worksheets that at once. Yeah, you could click multiple worksheets and import at once. Good question, Tracy. So now we are here. You'll notice the data on the first row is supposed to be the header. So we want to use the first row as header. So let's go to transform. In the transform, right below this one, there's something called use first row as headers. Okay, for the person send a private message to me, you are using Windows version. We are using Mac version. Okay, we're using Mac version now. Windows version we have recovered. Now we are focusing on Mac. Okay, next we'll go here. We use first row as headers. Use first row as headers. You will notice the header name changes and the first row disappears. Yeah, huh? So this is how we're able to do a simple data transformation. And if you're able to get up to this one, please type number 3. Number 3. Okay, good job, good job. Well done, well done. Over here. So now we are going to, okay, over here we could just resize. Okay, by the way, we could resize. We could resize, or we could just, okay, on the left side, I just minimize it. I collapse this one. We want to do some simple data transformation. Yeah, very good question, Samsudin. Remember ROCK. What's the last one? K stands for? Keep raw data raw. The purpose of we learn about Power Query, it doesn't change our original data. Our original data, it will be as it is. It will not change at all. Whenever we have change on the original data, it will be loaded into Power Query and you will go through all the steps here. So what we are doing now is teaching or using Power Query to chop to massage the data or to transform the data so that every time there's a new data come in, they will go through the same steps here. Okay, so the original data will not change. So let's come back here. Over here, we want to do data transformation inside Power Query is very simple using mouse. So let's go to the header. Let's go to the first one. We right click and you will see something called transform column. And because this is a text data, so it will be text transform. Now I want to turn this one to uppercase. Let's click on uppercase. Let's click on uppercase. And once we have clicked on uppercase, there is a step called uppercase text. And the column also get updated. Then if I'm able to follow up to this one, please type number 4. Yes, just right click, transform column, text transform is inside here. Okay, good. So now we want to do something a little bit differently. I want to shift this column. Okay, you will need to right click here and SW, right click, transform column, text transform, uppercase. Okay, you need to right click on the header. Okay, header means over here. Let me do this. Yeah, it's over here. Are you using Windows or Mac? Don't have. Windows. Oh, we're using Mac. Windows should behave the same thing. Just right click on the top. Yeah, just right click and there's something called transform. Can I? Okay, we are focusing on the Mac now. Okay. Windows should have same thing. Okay, let's continue. Uh, so we are using Windows, we are using Mac at this moment. It's very interesting. Last time when I cover using Windows, there are some Mac computer in the room. So now we are learning about using Mac and there are some Windows in the room. It's okay. Just same method. Right click, transform is inside here. Yeah. In that transform, then straight away is something called uppercase. So let's continue. Over here, I want to move the column part number 2 go towards front. I want to move towards the front. Now I drag this one, go towards front. Okay, just swap it. Just drag the header, go towards the front. Whenever I do such behavior or such reordering of the column, I just added a new column, a new step. So this is how we have it. If you're able to get this one, please type number 5. We just reorder, just resequence it. Good. So there's one more thing we want to experiment. I want to remove the quantity. I want to remove the last column. But I want to make a mistake. I want to make a mistake. Right click on the quantity. Supposedly, I choose remove columns. Let's make the mistakes together. We choose remove other columns. We right click on the header, remove other columns. Let's click. And you will see all the columns disappears and only the column we want to remove it stays. In normal situation, if we make a mistakes in Excel, what do we do besides screaming? What do we do if we make a mistake in Excel? Undo, yes, thank you, Tracy, thank you, Samsudin. Okay, but where's undo inside Power Query? Let's see. Let's go to home. Hey, there's no undo one. Oh my goodness. Then how? Okay, relax, relax. Power Query, everything we do is inside the step. Yes, thank you, Samsudin. You are very observant. You are very pro. Whatever mistakes we do inside Power Query, we just remove the step. Let's remove the last step. It says remove other columns. Let's remove it. Click. And it appears again. Yes, if I'm able to somehow just going through that a little bit like undo inside Power Query by removing the last step just now, please type number 6. If you're able to undo just by removing the last step, just type number 6. Good job, good job. Well done, well done. Now, we want to remove this column, yeah? Right click, let's right click, and we remove the quantity columns. Remove the quantity column. Remove. And you notice there's a new step added. Good. And now I would just want to let you know, we have performed so many steps. We have performed a couple of steps. Sometimes we want to double check on our action, whether does it work correctly. So we could go back to a specific step and observe how the data looks like. For example, just now we have removed the quantity column. Quantity column doesn't show us on the screen. Let's click one step above it, the second last step. You'll notice the quantity column appears. If I click one step above, the reorders no longer there. If I click one step above it, it's no longer uppercase. So that means whatever thing we do, it goes through sequential manner, one after another. If there are some things we want to double check, we could always click on that specific step and observe the one in the middle. If you are able to make such observation, please type number 7. Nice, huh? So this is how we are able to track to make sure the transformation works. So this just now what we have done is for our testing. Let's remove the last 3 steps and keeping the promoted headers. Let's remove the last three steps here. Remove, remove, and remove. Okay, we only get up to promoted headers. Okay, if you are able to go up to this one, please type number 2. Type number 2 if I are able to get up to this one. Good. So what we are going to achieve now is we want to combine these two columns together with a single space in between them. Subsequently, I want to clone this column to show uppercase, to show lowercase, also to show capitalized H word. Plus, one more, I want to show total number of character inside the data. So first, what we are going to do is to combine them together. First, we want to learn how could we select multiple columns. There are two ways. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to check out how the Mac key. Okay. Okay, can. Now I know. First, we go to part number 1. Click on the part number 1. If I want to select non-continuous column, so that means I want to skip certain columns in between them. So I want to hold down Command key and click on quantity. You'll notice only 2 columns are selected. Whatever in between, they are not selected. Let me show you again. Click on the first column, hold down Control key, or hold down Command key, and click on the next column. Okay, for Windows, they'll be holding Control key. Okay, so this one. Let's click on the part number 1. If I want to select continuous, after I select the first column, I hold down Shift key and click on the last column. And you will see the whole thing is selected, and whatever in between them is also get selected. Okay, let me show you again. Select first column, holding Shift key and click on the last one. So this is continuous. Good. So if I'm able to test it up to this one, please type number 3. Using Control key in Windows or Command key in Mac, using Shift key to make a continuous selection. Good. So now we select the first column and we select the second column. Use whatever method you prefer. Either using a Shift click or Control or Command click. After I select these 2 columns, the next one is right click on the header. That is something called merge columns. Right click on the header, merge columns. When we merge column, it will ask us for the separator. That means when these 2 data join together, what we want to have in between them. Is it a space, comma, dash, or something else? For our data, we want to separate them using space. And you will ask us what is the column name, the new column name. The new column name we are going to use is called code text. Code text. And this one, the column name, you could have a space. You could use uppercase, lowercase. Once you have done, click OK. And you notice 2 columns combined into one with the name called code text. And there's also a new step added called merge columns. If you are able to get this result, please type number 4. Good. After we have this thing done, the next one we want to duplicate these columns. This column, just now we want to make it as uppercase, lowercase, capitalize each word, and also count number of character. So we want to duplicate 4 columns. Duplicate. Just right click on the code text, and there is an option called duplicate column. Do this 4 times. Right click, duplicate. Right click, duplicate. Duplicate 4 times. If you are able to duplicate the column 4 times, please type number 5. Okay, good. Thank you. So before we continue, I want to rename the header. Otherwise, I may be confusing myself. To rename the header, we could just use our mouse, double click on the header. Let's use our mouse, go to the code text dash copy, double click, and let's change the name to uppercase. Uppercase. The second column, that will be lowercase. Third column is called capitalize each word. And last one is called length. Length. Uppercase, lowercase, capitalize each word, and length. Once you're done, type number 6 in the chat. Very good. So we have done this. The next one, we are going to do some data transformation. Let's right click on the uppercase. Right click. There is an option, say transform column. Text transform. Guess which one to use? Definitely uppercase. Let's choose uppercase. And you'll notice there's a new step added and the data, everything changes to uppercase. Let's do the remaining on your own. Just right click text transform and see which one to use. So do the remaining. Once you have completed the remaining, type number 7. That's very fast. Very, very fast. Good. Good. So now we have done up to this one. And let's bring this result back to Excel. So we go to home. There's something called close and load. Click close and load. And you bring the whole thing back to Excel. And ta-da! If you're able to see the result like this one on your screen, please type number 8. Type number 8 if you're able to see something like this in your Excel. Good, good, good. So what we have learned up to just now, and we are able to see how it loads the data from itself, go to Power Query Editor, and we have done something, it loads the final result back here. Whatever in the original data, it doesn't change at all. It remains as it is. So this is what we are able to have. And usually in our work, we do not do the data transformation in at one time and we get perfect result. It's a very common thing. We will need to go into Power Query, do some changes and load the data and double check. And then we go back to Power Query Editor and double check again. So since we have loaded the data, and now we want to learn how to go back to Power Query Editor. Let me show you few options here. First option, inside the data, and you will see there's the option say queries and connection. Does it works here? No, it doesn't work. It's not here. Okay, there's only one option here in Mac. We go to data, get data. We click on a small triangle. It has a drop down. Click on the small triangle next to get data. And there's option says launch Power Query Editor. Launch Power Query Editor. This is the only place to go back to Power Query Editor inside Mac. Click here. Not only way. This is one method. Another method is using keyboard shortcut. Okay. So this first method, we go here. And now we are back here. Okay. If I'm able to get this result, please type number 2. Okay. Type number 2 if I'm able to get this result. Okay. So no changes. We just close this one. Okay. The second one is using keyboard shortcut. Keyboard shortcut, let me test it on the Mac. Not here. I think it's command. Okay. Yeah, here. For the Mac is function option F12. Function option F12. And for the Windows, there will be alternate F12. And some computer requires you to have alternate function F12. Okay. 2016 don't have this shortcut. Last time I test don't have. Now you could test it. Alternate F12, see does it work. If it doesn't work, that's okay. Okay, so this is another way. So later on, you could choose which method you want. No? Okay, by the way, if you're able to use this method to go back to Power Query Editor, please type number 3. Let me show it here. Yes. Yes, alternate F12. Alternate F12, you could test it. It requires a newer version of Excel. Usually it updates. 2012, I have not tested. I'm not quite sure. Okay, good. So let's close this Power Query Editor. So we are not changing anything there. So that was the 2 methods, how we are able to go back to Power Query Editor. So now we want to go back to Power Query Editor and we are able to use whichever method works for you. So let's go back to Power Query Editor. Okay, if you are back to Power Query Editor, please type number 1. Type number 1 if you go back to Power Query Editor. Good. We're going to do some changes here. I realize the quantity, I need to split into 2 columns. One is on the quantity, the number. Another one is the unit of measure. In this situation will be pieces, PCS, pieces. What is the separator between the number, the digit, and the pieces? It's a space. Yes, that's right. You got it. It's a space, so we're able to split the column. Let's go to quantity. Right-click on the header, and it has option says split column. We want to split column by delimiter. Delimiter means it has a certain separator. Let's go to by delimiter. Currently, it says by comma, which is not accurate in our situation. We want to change it to space. Let's change it to space. Once you have changed, click OK, and you will see the data split into 2 columns in this way. If you're able to get these 2 columns, please type number 2. Good. And now we have split the data in this way, and the header name is no longer descriptive enough. It says quantity.1, quantity.2. Not really descriptive. Let's change the quantity header. Double click on quantity.1 to make it as quantity. Enter. and make it the second column, make it as UOM, stands for unit of measure. Just change the header name, double click on the header to change the name. Quantity, unit of measure. If you are able to get these two change, please type number 3. Okay, good. Very good, very good. So we are going to bring this result back to Excel. We go to Home. On the upper left corner, there is something called Close and Load. Click Close and Load and brings the whole thing back to Excel. You will notice 2 columns appears and ta-da! If you are able to see this result in Excel, please type number 4. That means you have done it. Yes. Good. So now we have done this part and we want to get the total. Now boss is asking me, hey Tai, I want to know the total quantity. Okay lah, so I use a function called sum equal SUM tab key, and I just select the column here. And now before I press enter, make a guess. Were I able to see the result? Yes or no? Make a wild guess in the chat. No right, no wrong. And some say no, some say value. Really? Enter. Hey, how come 0? 38 plus 13 and plus 28 shouldn't be 0, right? Why? Never mind. We use calculator. No, just kidding. That is because all this data is a text data type. They are not number. Sum only works on the number data type. It doesn't work on the text data type. This is one thing I want to let you on to know. Power Query, and we type a short format PQ, is strong type. What does that mean? It means if that column is number, we are able to do calculation. If that column is a mixture of number and text, we could choose either one of them. We could not say it's okay. Unlike Excel, Excel is able to do some auto conversion for us. Here, it doesn't. So now we realize there's a mistakes on the data type. Let's go back to Power Query Editor. Let's go back to Power Query Editor. And you will notice beside the quantity, it has the alphabet A, B, C. That means this is a text data type. It's a text data type. Click on the A, B, C. And it shows various options for us to do the data type conversion. Generally, there are 3 main data types. The first one is number. It could be represented in a decimal, currency, whole number, or percentage. The next one is date or time. It could be represented in a date time, date time zone, duration. These are the data type for date or time. And the next one is text, which is very obvious. And in here, our data type for quantity is text. Let's change the data type for quantity. Instead of showing text, we want to make it as whole number. Let's go to the whole number. As our data doesn't have any decimal places, so it's just perfectly okay to use whole number. Let's choose whole number. And you notice it has some errors appears. Yes, some errors appears. The errors here, because just now it was NIL, Power Query doesn't understand what does that mean NIL. It unable to convert that to a corresponding number. Therefore, it just shows error. If you're able to see your quantity appears like with the number and errors in between them, please type number 5. Good. So now we realize Error is very annoying. Presume, this is the situation. Whenever it has error, I want to show error as 0. This is the moment we could go back to the quantity. Right click on the quantity. That is an option says replace errors. Replace errors means whenever it has error, show it something else. So let's choose replace errors. And you ask us what we want to replace the errors with. We want to replace errors with 0. Just type number 0. And click OK. And all the errors become 0. If you're able to see this result, please type number 6. Yes, good. So now we have done this part. Before we bring the result back, and I want to have these 2 columns appears at the end. Just now we learned we drag manually. Instead of drag manually, there's a faster way for us to move the columns to a specific direction. Let's click this, let's select these 2 columns, quantity and unit of measure. Select these 2 columns. After that, right click on the header. Right click one of the headers. There's something called move, the last one. Move. Yes, we choose move to end. And ta-da! It shifted towards the end. Yes, I'm shooting very fast. Even though before I say you type number 7, if you're able to get this result, type number 7. Wow, Samsudin, you're living in the future. Good. Uh, okay, so now we have done this part. I want to bring this result back to Excel. Let's go to home, close and load. Okay, thank you. Very predictable, huh? That's fun thing. Later I will make it unpredictable. Okay, can. Okay, and once you are back, you will see the number, the quantity. It goes towards the right side. And then my formula just now is able to get the result. Yep, it works. Yes. Up to now, any questions? Up to now, any questions? Any question calling once? Any question calling twice? Any question and sold? If there's a no question, it's my turn to ask question. Okay, my question is, if I go back to the text transform, this is the original data, yeah? This is a text transform. I go to the very end. I go towards the end. I key in a new data like this one. I like, okay, to eat nasi lemak 10 packets. Okay, I just add a new data like this. Will the Power Query capture this? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. If I just add the new data at the bottom, will Power Query able to capture this? Yes or no? Don't know. Okay, no, huh? Okay, Tracy said need refresh. Let's see. I go back to my text transformer, the green color table. Don't have all. Yeah, huh? Okay. Some of you may say need to refresh, huh? Okay, let me refresh. I just right click on the green table, right click, and I choose refresh. Let's refresh. Do you see the new data? No. Yes, you do not see that. Remember, we are loading the data from itself back to itself because the file hasn't been saved after I added a new record. Of course, I will not get the new data. It will appear on the screen after we save and after that we refresh. Need to save and then refresh. Now we do this together. So I need to save. After save, okay, it will ask a new permission because the file is getting from internet. Hey. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me go back to my file, save. Okay, let me save to a different name. Let me save it to a different name. Need the permission. Oh, file location. Can. So I need to adjust this one. Get info. Read only. Yeah, because I mix the whole thing, make it as read only. Everyone read right. Okay, let's change this one. Right click, get info. Make sure everyone is read right and myself is read right. Okay, then go inside. Okay, how come no nothing one? Okay, can. So now I go back to my Excel. Where's my Excel? Okay, so with here, I want to save because the permission. Okay, now I am able to save it. After I save, right click and refresh. Unable to load it because the data source is no longer the same. Let me save it. Okay. If this thing happens, because I saved to a different file name, I need to change the data source. So I need to go back to Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor, what is the key? Okay, go to Power Query Editor. Go to the source. Because the file name has changed, just browse. I use this one. General data orientation number 1. Get data and OK. Just change the source here. And close and load. Let me show. Yes, now it works. Okay. Okay. For those of you are able to get this result, please type number 8. For those of you now, you need to have some support, type number 0 if you have some question. Because Mac will behave very differently because the permission is slightly different. Okay, mine is a bit different, yeah. Okay, good. So this is what we have done up to just now. Just load the data and make some changes, save it, and then we refresh again. So this is what we have learned up to just now. And before we go for a quick break, any question? Because after break, we are going to learn how to use the Excel to transform certain data. Okay, that's a question from T1. After I close and load, I cannot see the result. If I put the cursor on the cell, I'm able to read the text. Are you okay to share your screen? Because I'm not sure what's happening over there. Yeah, that'll be good. You could share your screen. You go to middle bottom of your Zoom. There's a button called share. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay, you have changed the source, close and load. Okay, you need to share your Excel because you just like you share is Power Query Editor. Does it work? Because I can't see your screen now. And this is the folder. Where's your Excel? I don't see your Excel. Is that okay for you? Aha, okay. You have ended the next one. You go to the previous worksheet. Mm-hmm. Good. Oh, it's blank. Okay. You zoom in, zoom out here. Okay. How come the things I could see the header? You could see the header. Yeah, huh? Okay. If this thing happens, I tell you what, save the file, close and also exit Excel and run it again, then open again. Most likely it work. Uh, okay, you save everything, then you exit Excel, close Excel. Sometimes this thing happens. It may happen. Okay. Good. So while you are fixing on that one, let's go for a quick break. We go for 10 minutes break, yeah, because I have so many things to share with you. I just want to make sure all of you get some ideas and how you're able to use this one back to your work. Okay, so we go for 10 minutes. Now is, okay, where's my timer? Okay, we will continue in 10 minutes. Now on my computer is 3:22. We'll be back in 3:23. 3:23. We'll be back in 3:23. With that, enjoy your quick break. We will continue in 3:23. Okay, welcome back everyone. So now we're going to continue. Just now we learned a little bit about Power Query. The next one we are going to use is apply the technique of Power Query so that our data adhere to the ROCK. The purpose of doing so is to make sure our data is much more organized and structured, and it's easier for us to perform analysis later on. Let's continue. Let's go back to our file. Okay, so we are over here. Just now what we have done, this is a quick intro. Let's close this file. Save it if you want to. We are going to the folder called rectangle. Let's go to the folder called rectangle. Inside rectangle, it has a transpose and remove blanks, unmerge and fill down. There's one more, it's called unpivot. So we are going to apply this whole thing. Let's go for a easier one. Let's go to unpivot. Let's open unpivot. Over here, I open the file. You do not need to open. Let me open. Because if you open and you forgot to close, it may cause some weird behavior. Let me open the file called Team Score version 1. Look at the data. It has how many years? 1, 2, 3 years. How many teams it has, or how many names it has? It has 9 names. It starts from 2030. It starts from 2030. When we are working with Power Query, there are 3 things we want to make sure it works for us. Let me type on the screen. There are 3 things. First, we want to make sure there's something called reusability. Reusability means once I've done, I could reuse again for the next reporting period without heavy changes. If possible, 0 changes at all. So that's called reusability. And secondly, it's called scalability. Scalability means when our data has additional year, now you could see the team score version 1 only has 3 years data. Whenever it has more years of data or more names at the bottom, Power Query should able to accommodate those additional columns and additional rows. So that's called scalability. Third one is called maintainability. It means whenever there are some changes required, we just need a small or minor adjustment and the whole thing works again. And a lot of time, people, whenever they are designing their work, they have forgotten about this part. And what they resolve to, they redo the whole thing. So we want to make sure we will go through this, experience it together. Okay, so this is version 1 file. Later on, we will go through these three things. Let's recap. Version 1 file, it has 3 years of data, start from 2030. Okay, let me close this file without saving. Now I'm going to open the team score version 2. What is the difference between version 1 and version 2? Type your observation in the chat beside the file name. Yes, he has more years of data, right? Yep, he has more years of data. And just now it has 9, so this also has nine names. Okay, it just has more years of data. Good. So this is version 2. Let's go to version 3. What is the difference between version 2 and version 3? Number of years are different. Okay, good. What else? It's less 1 year. Is it really less 1 year or one column? Look at the year, yeah. Version 1 and version 2 is start from 2030. Here it starts from 2035. Different years. So we want to make sure our data or whatever thing we're going to do later on is able to accommodate these three different files. So if we do it once right, we could change the source from version 1 to version 2 and is able to get everything from version 2 with minimal to no adjustment at all. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. Let's open a brand new Excel file. Let's open a new Excel file. I open a new Excel file. Where am I? Okay, let's open a new Excel file. If you have opened a new Excel file, please type number 1. Type number 1 once you have opened the new Excel file. Good. We are going to load the data. We go to data, get data, go to the left side, get data. The file type just now, they are the CSV. So we need to select the correct file type. It's a text CSV. Let's choose this one, text CSV. Then it will ask us where is the folder. We go to browse and we go to the folder number 2 and we go to the last one. It says Unpivot. Make sure you choose Team Score version 1. Team Score version 1. Click Get Data. And it shows nothing on the screen until we click Next. Let's click Next. And it will show how the data looks like. Okay. And look at the header. The header is not accurate though. The first line should be the header. So there's, okay, looks like the rest, we need to do some adjustment so that we are able to easily analyze the data. Let's go to the button called Transform button. And some of you may be seeing the word called Edit. I'm clicking on the Transform Data. And it brings me to Power Query Editor. If you're in the Power Query Editor with the Team Score version 1, please type number 2. Okay, good. Okay, so now we are going to do some adjustment. Just now, what we are learning is we just perform the task and we just observe the things appears on the right side. Now we want to, while we are working with the data transformation, we want to build some habit of performance. It means whatever thing we are doing now, we tidy up the loose ends whenever we are progressing. First thing is, we want to make sure we use a generic name. generic names allows us to reuse this one without tying to a specific period, specific month, or specific version. For example, I'm loading the yearly report, maybe for year 2024. And I want to reuse this one for yearly summary. So if I keep the name as 2024, I may be confusing myself when if I want to reuse the file again. Or another example, I'm doing the report for January. I will need to use the file over and over again for February, March, and so on. That will be good not to use the name of January, unless I'm only keeping the data for January without changing. So there's a special exception. For here, we will reuse this one for version 2 and version 3. To make the name generic without confusing ourselves, let's remove the V1 at the end. Let's remove the V1 and press enter. Okay. After we have done this, and the next one we want to keep the habit of the performance is to remove the last step. Currently, it says a change column type. Usually, we change the data type towards the very end. Usually, as per now, currently it has 4 columns. In the future, it may be 8 columns. It could be 5 columns. The number of columns are not fixed. So that kind of things, we want to change the data type towards the end when everything goes vertically. So let's remove the last step. Okay. So I have performed 2 changes here. Make the name generic without V1 and remove the last step, only keeping the source. If I'm able to follow up to this one, please type number 3. Good. And you will notice the header is supposed to be following the name of the row number 1. Let's go to transform. Use first row as headers. Click this one. Click once. And you will see the first row as headers. And some steps in Excel or in Power Query specifically, it will automatically change the data type. And you will see it says change column type. Let's remove the last step, only keeping promoted headers. Okay. If I'm able to get this result, please type number 4. Use first row as headers and remove the last step. Here, and sometimes just now we mentioned, we want to make sure the data has everything goes vertically. And you will notice now it goes 2 directions. It goes towards right side, it goes bottom, and it means this kind of data, it goes all direction. We want to make sure everything goes vertically. In total, it's supposed to have 3 columns. The first columns are all the numbers. One of the columns is all the numbers. Second column is the corresponding header for the respective numbers. And third column is the one in between them. Yeah, this is the one. So we want to make sure there's 3 columns. While we identify the columns or the data expected outcome, there is a column that is already vertical form. So we want to select this column. We select this column and right click. There is an option says Unpivot other columns. Choose this option, Unpivot other columns. The reason we are doing this, if this is in the future, there are more columns added. They are considered as other columns comparing to name. So let's choose Unpivot other columns. And everything goes vertically. If I'm able to get this result, please type number 5. Good. Good, good. Now almost done. Before we bring the result back to Excel, we want to make sure the header name is descriptive enough. Attribute is better to name as year. Let's double click on the attribute and change it to year. Enter. And the next one is value. Double click, change it to score. Change it to score. Just change the header name. One is called year, another one is called score. Before we load the result back, we want to double check on the data type. For the name, it shows ABC. For the year, it shows ABC. Score also shows ABC. Which one should we change? Which data type should we change? There's a number, text, or date time. Which one should we adjust? Yeah, please type in the chat. Okay. Thank you, Yanfen. Says score. Thank you. So let's change the score from ABC. Let's there's more button. Click on ABC and change it to whole number. Because the data doesn't have any decimal number, let's change it to whole number. Good. And some will be asking, hey Tai, how about the year? Do we need to change it? It depends though. If you need to use the data for some calculation, that will be good to change it. If not, there's no difference whether the year is stored in the text or is stored as a number. Yes, no difference. So for this moment, I leave it to you all to decide. You want to use as a number or you want to use as a text? Both are perfectly okay. After we have done this, I want to load the result back to Excel. Let's do this together. We go to Home, Close and Load. Click Close and Load. It will bring to a brand new worksheet and ta-da! If you're able to get this result, please type number 6. Yes, good, good, good. Nice. Good job, good job. We have done this, and this is a version 1. Let's go back to Power Query Editor and change it from version 1 to version 2. Before we do that, let's guess what will be the outcome. What will be the outcome? Let's make a guess. Type in the chat. We are going to change version 1 to version 2. Version 2 has more years of the column. Yes, 3 more years. What will be the outcome? When we change the data from version 1 to version 2, will we see the more years data here? Yes or no? Type in the chat. Make a wild guess. Will we see more years of data? Okay, thank you, Yan Fen. Thank you, Yang Xia. Okay, thank you, Yuli and Felix. Okay, let's test. Let's test together. Let's go back to Power Query Editor. Let's go back to Power Query Editor. We go to the source. We go to the source. You could double click on the source or you click on the setting icon on the source, whichever works for you. And we are going to browse from version 1 to version 2. Then click Get Data and click OK again. Observe how the screen shows the data. Is this accurate? Something missing, right? Just now we opened the file version 2, we remember it has more years of the data at the end. But here we don't see that. This is the behavior of Power Query on CSV file. Power Query will limit number of columns from the CSV file. Now, while the source is selected, we expand the formula bars. Here, we expand the formula bars. And here you will see columns equal to 4 with the comma. We remove this line with the comma, columns equal to 4. Just remove one comma. After that, you press enter and you are able to see more columns. Let me show you. Okay, columns equal to 4. Select and include the comma, remove and press enter. And ta-da! You have more data here. Okay, if you're able to see this result, please type number 7. This is only for CSV file. Excel file will not have this issue, only CSV. And usually, after we have changed the source, just to make sure it works perfectly, we go from top to bottom by selecting the step one by one. At the very beginning, you will feel it's a little bit slower. Once you have better confidence, you could skip certain thing or you could make the thing a little bit faster. Now, presume all of us here are learning. We are not quite sure. So let's go through step by step. After changing the source, we go from top to bottom, click step by step and observe the changes here. Now we click on the second step. It promotes header. Third step, unpivot other columns. Very good. Even though it has additional years on the right side. Everything works perfectly. Rename column and change data type. Good. It works. Let's load the data back to Excel by go to Home, Close and Load. Let's wait for a while and ta-da! You could see the data from 2030 to 2035. If you're able to get this result, please type number 8. Yay! Good job, good job. Easy, right? So what you could observe just now, let me recap a little bit here. Reusability. Do you see we could reuse the same query for the new file? Yes or no? Yes, that is reusability. And next one is called scalability. Does it work? Does the Power Query able to recognize additional column? Yes or no? Yes. And just now we only do a minimal changes, just change the source from version 1 to version 2. That is called maintainability. So just with this learning, you have experienced what if all your works in Excel, it could have reusability, scalability, and also maintainability. What a wonderful word it is. Okay. Okay. To expand the column in the Excel, you just need to enable. By the way, I have a question. Okay. For some of you, I want to invite you. Now it's for your turn to change the source from version 2 to version 3. At the same time, I want to invite NSW to share your screen because I want to guide you through a little bit. You are using Windows version. I'm just speculating. Yeah, please open your, share your screen. Windows version. You go to View. On the View ribbon, on the top left corner, there's a Home, Transform, Add Column. Yes, View. That is on the left side. There's something called Formula Bar. Yes, click on the Formula Bar, and you will see it appears on the top. Good. Expand that one. There's a small triangle. On the formula bar, on the same row, yes, you will see columns equals to 4. Yes, remove columns equal to 4 plus 1 comma, either left or right side. Remove the whole wording. Okay, enter. Good, done. Okay, good. Thank you for your question. We have learned that. And for the rest of us, change the source from version 2 to version 3. Once you have done, please type number 9. Once you have done, please type number 9. Okay, good. Let me demonstrate how it works, yeah? I'm inside the Excel. So I want to go back to the Power Query editor. I just go to the source, double click, or I could click on the setting, browse, just like it was version 2. Now we change it to version 3. Very good. And click get data and click OK. You notice the gears are different. That's right. And it's a good practice after we change the data source. We want to go through the step from top to bottom just to make sure all of them is working. Now click on the next step, promote the headers, unpivot other columns, rename columns, change column type. Perfect. And then I go to close and load and bring the whole thing back to Excel and ta-da! So this is the moment you also have gone through reusability, scalability, and maintainability. Good. We have a person asking a question as an error, unable to load the data. Okay, Melissa, I would like to invite you to share your screen and so that everyone could learn from your question. Yeah, Melissa, to share your screen, go to middle bottom. There's a zoom. There's a with up arrow key called share. Okay, you got it. Okay. You go to because the change type you still remains there. You want to remove the change type. And that's the reason why we want to have a change type towards the end. Yeah, remove. And go towards the last step. After rename column, on the right side, there's you have load the data. Okay. And you will notice the text data, the score still as a text data type. Go back to Power Query again. Okay, just to make sure, usually the last step, you look at here, usually the last step is change type, usually. So in between, we do not have change type because the columns constantly shifting. So now you change the data type. First, we want to make the score as a number, as a whole number. Good. And the year up to you, whether you want to change it or not change it, they're okay. Yeah, there's something called whole number. Okay, good. You have chose to change it. Once you have done, go to upper left corner, close and load. And you're able to get the data back to Excel. And you'll notice the score is no longer aligned towards left side. Good. Thank you, Melissa, for asking the question. We have learned something differently because of your question. So this one we have learned inside Power Query. We're able to unpivot data and everything goes vertically. Up to just now, any question? So far, all good? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. So far, all good? Good. Thank you, Samsudin. And the rest, are you okay? Okay. This is for Mac, not for Windows. Some of time, the screen may be different. Good, good. So what we have learned is one of the technique. And let's continue with the second scenario. This file, if you want, you could save it. For me, I'm not saving it. Okay. If you want, you could save it. And don't save. Okay. We are going to the next folder. Next folder. So this is a unpivot. The next one is our data. Let's go to Unmerge and Fill. Let me open. You do not need to open. Let me open. Let me open the stock record. We talk about rectangle. We don't want to have a merge, right? What if our data has merging like this? Let me do a demonstration. If I filter, that's alpha, yes, a Jan, Feb, March. If I filter the data for alpha only, I only seeing one row. The rest, they are not shown on the screen because merging will treat the remaining ones as blanks. Yeah, as blanks. So this is the version 1 data. Let's visually inspect the data. Yes, the stock alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. It's up to row 19. So this is stock record version 1. Let's go to version 2. Version 2. Hey, it has more data now. Yes, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, same thing. And this time it goes up to row 35. Just now it was 19. So this is version 2. So it means it has more data. And once we have done this, let's check on about version 3. Stock record version 3. Yes, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. After Charlie, yes, more. Yes, Delta, Echo, up to row 62. Yes, even more data. And again, the purpose of learning this one, we want to go through the 3 principles: reusability, scalability, and maintainability. Let's do this together. Okay, I'm closing the file. I do not want to open them. Let's go to a new Excel file. The reason is we are not reusing the same Excel file. Whenever there's too many macro inside, and sometimes we may confuse ourselves. Okay, so we just do not want to do anything there. Just save it if you want to. So now I'm in a brand new Excel file. Okay, let's do this together. We go to data, get data. And this time, they are Excel file. They are no longer CSV, unlike the first one. Here, we are going to from Excel workbook. Click on this one, Excel workbook, and you ask us to browse. Where is the file? Let's go to the folder called Unmerge and Fill Down. We choose Score Record version 1 and click Get Data. Okay, and over here on the lower right corner, it has a button called Next. Let's click Next. And because this is an Excel file, we will need to choose a worksheet. Just make sure you tick on the stock and it shows how the data looks like. Over here, you will see it has a lot of nouns here. A lot of nouns. Nouns is equivalent to blank in Excel. Sometimes Excel we have blank cell. Inside Power Query is represented as noun. Okay. So now we go click on the transform data. It's a button between cancel and load. Sometimes the wording will be different. It's okay. It is always in between these 2 buttons. Click on transform data. Brings us back to Power Query editor. Okay, if you are able to follow up to this one, please type number 1. Type number 1 if you are able to follow up to this one. Good, good, good. Over here, you will notice, okay, it's promote headers navigation. Good. Hey, how come so many nouns one? Why? Why? Oh, because of the merging. In the merging in Excel, when you load the data into Power Query Editor, it will automatically unmerge. And you will see a lot of nouns. For the noun, the one I'm highlighted, are they alpha or bravo? Please let me know in the chat. The one over here, are they belongs to alpha or bravo? Because alpha is on the top, bravo is at the bottom. Is it alpha or bravo? Yes, they are alpha. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you, Raja, Chuisha. Thank you for responding. Good, good. So we want to base on the alpha data and want to fill down. So this is called fill down. We are not doing for one column. We are doing for two columns. So we want to select two columns at once. Let's click on the first column and select the second column. Let's click two columns, select two columns. After that, right click one of the columns and there's option says fill down, fill down. Okay, you will see the data, everything got filled down. Good. If you are able to see this result, please type number 2. Thank you, Samsudin. Wow, thank you, Chiwan, Tracy. Okay. Look, Payphone, Cecilia, thank you for responding. Good, good. So now we have done this one. To bring this back to Excel, how? How could I bring this back to Excel? No one teach me, meh? Yes, thank you, Samsudin. Close and load. Thank you, Yanfen. Yeah, we go to home, close and load. Close and load. Wait for a while and ta-da! So this is done. This done. So if you are able to see this result, please type number 3. So I have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. Good. So now I want to invite you to do it on your own as a practice. As a practice, change the source and from version 1 to version 2. Change the source from version 1 to version 2. Once you have done, type done in the chat. Once you have done, type done in the chat. Okay, you have about 2 minutes to get this thing done. Mhm. 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Very good, very good. Wow, okay. Yeah, I need someone to guide me. Either you could use your voice or you could use the chat. Please teach me how can I change the data from version 1 or the source from version 1 to version 2. Yeah, please guide me how to do so. You could use your voice or you could use a chat, whichever comfortable to you. Go to the source and change the file. Eh, where's the source? I don't know where to start there. Can teach me step by step, slower and steady one. Can ah, can ah. How ah? I don't see any source there. Power Query Editor. Okay. Let me go back to Power Query Editor. Okay, I'm inside Power Query Editor. In the apply steps. Okay. Which one to see? Which one to see? There are so many things here in the apply steps. Which one? In the source setting. Okay. The first one, source. Good. After that, click on the browse. Okay. Browse. After that, browse the file and choose the version 2 on version 2 is over here. After I select version 2, what's next? Get data. I select the data, get data. Okay. Okay, I've selected version 2. And how can I continue? Click OK. Click OK. Test. And then done. Anything else? Click one step or click step one by one. Okay. From top, click. Okay. Promote headers just to make sure it works. Okay. And it works. Whoa. Okay, now looks everything works. Then how can I bring the result back to Excel? I close and load. Thank you. Close and load. Okay. Yes, got it. Wow, so fast. Thank you everyone for guiding me through. And the purpose of inviting you all to guide me, when you guiding other people, you will remember a little bit better. So that's the whole intention now. Good. Thank you. So we have done the from version 1 to version 2. You will see the same three things appears again. Reusability. Um, are we able to reuse the query again? Yes or no? Please let me know in the chat. Are we able to reuse it? Yes or no? Yes. And scalability. Are we able to, is the Power Query able to accommodate new data at the bottom? Yes or no? Scalability. Yes, scalable. Good. And the next one is all maintainability. Do we need to make a lot of changes to make it accommodate the version 2 data? Just change the source, right? Very minimal, right? So that is maintainability. Good. And you could see just by using Power Query alone, our job is so much easier, right? Okay. So now I want to invite you to challenge yourself. Just now we took about 2 minutes to change the source from version 1 to version 2. Now I want to invite you to challenge yourself from version 2 to version 3 in 1 minute or less. Okay. Are you ready? On your mark, get set, and go. 30 seconds. Faster. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, we have a very interesting question. Why does my new data appears in new worksheet after click close and load? Okay, very good question. And you could observe what we are doing is just now, I changed the source. I'm not loading the data again. If I load the data again, that means I go to data, get data, and choose the file. If I use this one, it will always adding a new worksheet. We are not doing this again now. We are not doing this. It's only one time we do this. After that, we go back to our Power Query editor. Like here, I'm not running the Power, I'm not loading the data here. I'm not going to data and get data. We're not doing this. Just go to Power Query editor and change the source from version 2 to version 3. Click OK because we are a bit confident about this Power Query. All these steps, I could just straight away go to the last step. Yep, it works. We are changing the source here. We are not selecting the file again. So these are two difference, yeah. So once I'm done, click close and load and let it load for a while. And let's see. Yes, echo. Yes, yes, more data. Good job, everyone. Well done, well done. Give yourself big hand. Yay. So this is how we are able to get the things, everything structured in an organized way. Can I? Up to now, any questions? Up to now, any questions? Just want to make sure everything's okay. Good. No question. And this is how we're able to get it work a little bit. How do we use to refresh? Okay. Yeah, you could go to data, refresh all. Yeah, it's possible, especially you have multiple queries. You could use this refresh all to refresh everything at once. Um, Google Sheet, nope. Google Sheet doesn't have this Power Query. Don't have, And Google Sheet is meant for simplicity. So therefore, it will not able to have all this so much of the complex logic behind. Otherwise, the browser will be very heavy. Okay, Google Sheet doesn't have it. Good. So now we have done this part, and we want to go to the next and our final learning. Yes, you could use Power Query inside OneDrive, the folder lah. That means it's synced to the data, synced to the data. Depending on your data, you could go to data, get data. There's a SharePoint online list. Yeah, you could get it from here. Good question. Any other questions? Good. There's no question. Now we go to the last one. Last one here. Let me open the file. You did not need to open, yeah. Let's open the last one here. I have a customer order. A customer order. Let me open customer order version 1. You notice the data is a little bit weird, right? Uh, it appears horizontally. Supposedly, it need to be vertical. So this is version 1 data. So later on, we will need to transpose this one. And let me open the version 2. Version 2, you will notice this is a little bit weird. Compared to version 1, version 2 has blank rows. Has blank rows. This is the time we are going to learn about maintainability. Sometimes our data changes. Sometimes the format get adjusted. And how could we make a minimal adjustment in our Power Query so that the whole thing works again? Okay, so this is what we are going to learn. So this is about version 2. Just remember, version 2 has more blank rows. And now I go to version 3. Let me open the version 3 customer order. Oh my goodness. Okay. Beside blank rows, yes, blank column. Oh my goodness. You could see, if let's say most people, when they see this kind of data, most likely they will redo the whole thing. But now I'm going to walk you through how we're able to find the pattern and where are the small adjustments we could make and make the whole thing works again. So this what is the intention for this learning. And before that, I have a question. Let me see this questionnaire from Felix. Can the Mac Power Query extract data from multiple database sources, example, SAP table, Oracle, Excel, like Windows? Does Mac Power Query has limitation, can work only on Excel tables compared to Um, okay, you have, I believe you have the answer. You have the answer. You look at the data source here. Inside Power Query, it only accepts all these things. The things you mentioned, the SAP server, SAP server, the database server is not here. Those options are available inside Windows. Okay, so it's very clear, it's very obvious. We could get if run inside Windows. Only Windows. Mac doesn't have that one. And yeah, what file type? Like just now in the very beginning, I mentioned Mac unable to support folder. If I need to load multiple files, example, I have folder with the 10 files, I want to combine them together or do some cleanup, I need to load them one by one. Very tedious. In Windows, I could choose load a folder, everything inside, it will just load it and it will repeat the whole process. Very, very easier compared to here. Because this one is still updating. Last time it don't have so much of data. Last time they only have Excel and CSV. Now it has XML, JSON, and some other things. It's getting more and more. Okay, yeah, this is for Mac. This is for Mac, huh? Okay, so now let's open a brand new Excel file. Once you are inside a brand new Excel file, please type number 1. Type number 1 once you're inside a brand new Excel file. Good, good. Just to make sure we are in this new file. Good. So now we are going to load the data, customer orders, version 1. Let's click on get data, Excel workbook. Click on the Excel workbook, browse, transpose and remove blanks. Choose customer order version 1. Customer order version 1. Get data. And once you click get data and go to the lower right corner, yes, button called next. Click next. And you ask us which worksheet. Select customer order. Select customer order. Then go to the middle button on the lower right corner. Mine is called transform data. Click transform data. And you are inside Power Query Editor. If you are able to enter Power Query Editor, please type number 2. Type number 2 if you are able to follow up to this one. Good. And this is the moment you will notice different version might have slight different behavior. Mine currently has 3 steps. Some of you may have 4 steps. So that's okay. So you will notice it has a change type over here. Some of you will have additional step called promoted headers. Get rid of the 2 steps. Make sure you only leaving source and navigation. That is only 2 steps we need. If you have promoted headers, remove it. If you have change type, remove it. Only keeping 2 steps, yeah? If you are able to get this one, only 2 steps, please type number 3. Type number 3, if I'm able to follow up to this. Good, good, good. Now the data is horizontal, or we want to make it vertical. That process is called transpose. Let's go to transform. Let's go to transform. There is a button called transpose on the left, the third button from the left. Let's click transpose and you will see the whole thing turns to vertical. After transpose, you will notice the first row should be the header. Which button should I click? I want to make sure the headers follow the first row's name. Yes, we go to transform, use first row as headers. Click use first row as headers. And ta-da! If you're able to get this result, please type number 4. Good, good. Well done, well done. So now I'm done. Let's bring this result back to Excel by go to Home, close and load. Close and load. And ta-da! You'll notice the quantities are in 2 digits. Type number 5 if you're able to get this result. Nice. Nice. And you will see what everything we are doing and up to just now is to make sure the data is in a rectangle vertical form. Okay, so this is what we are doing now. So this is a version 1. Now we are going to change the version 1 to version 2. What is the extra things inside version 2? Please type in the chat and let's see how many of you still remember. What's the extra things inside version 2? Yes, Samsudin, thank you, Tracy. Good, they are blank rows. Thank you, Luke, Paven. Okay, they are blank rows. Let's see how we are able to do some small adjustment and it works. So let's go back to Power Query Editor. Let's go back to Power Query Editor. Very first step is to change the source. Let's change the source. I go to the source. I could double click or I could just click on the setting here. Okay, whichever works. Then click browse. Browse from version 1 to version 2. Version 2. Click get data and click OK. After I changing the source, just now we learned, after changing the source, we click from top to bottom one by one to check every single step. Click on the second step, navigation. You'll notice there are a lot of nouns appears. This is the moment we want to get rid of the nouns. When we want to remove the nouns, we prefer to remove it when it's horizontal. Prefer remove it at the horizontal. Okay, so now we want to remove blank rows. We are still inside the home. There is something called remove rows. Click on the remove rows. One of them called remove blank rows. Click on the remove blank rows. Because we are adding a step in between the existing ones, you will get a prompt as a warning. Because we know we want to add that one before transpose. Let's click insert. And you will see the blanks disappears. If you are able to get this result, please type number 6. If you're able to add this result or add this step, please type number 6. Good. Once we have done, we continue to do the inspection. Continue one by one, yeah? Then we click on the transpose table, click on the promoted headers and change column type. And you'll notice the quantity, now it has 3 digits. Where to remove blanks, yeah? Remove blanks is go to home, remove rows. Here, remove rows. It's inside here. Windows and Mac is the same thing. So now we have done. And let's bring this result back to Excel. We go to home, close and load. And ta-da, you will see the data. It has new rows and it has the quantity also increases. Time number 7, if I'm able to get this result. Good, 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 good. Well done, well done. So you will see there's more adjustment and the whole thing works. Right? This is the power of maintainability. Just now we have changed from version 1 to version 2. Let's continue changing from version 2 to version 3. Let's go back to Power Query Editor. Go back to Power Query Editor. We change the source from version 2 to version 3. Change the source from version 2 to version 3. And then click OK. After we change the source, we go slowly from top to bottom, step by step to inspect, yeah? When I click on the navigation, you'll notice there are so many blank rows and blank columns. Do I need to remove the blank rows now? Yes or no? Yeah, type in the chat. Do I need to remove the blank rows now? Yes or no? By looking at the step, yeah? Looking at the step. Do I need to remove it? Mm, Not necessary, because previously we have added something called remove blank rows. Yep, thank you for responding and thank you for participating. Sometimes we may think we need to. Actually, we could double check. Hey, we have added this one. Don't need that. Okay, if we add on remove additional blank rows, it has no impact because the blanks is no longer there. Okay, let's continue. Remove blank rows. And you notice there are a lot of blank columns here. We prefer remove the blanks when it's row level. Because if we remove the blank now, it ties to the column name. This is column number 2. Next time, it will always remember remove column 2, not because it is blank, just because it's column number 2. Yeah, so this is what we don't want to do, and we continue. We remove the blanks whenever it's horizontal, when it's horizontal. Let's continue the next step. It says transpose table. Now click transpose table. Now you will see the blanks is horizontal now. Okay, remember you are clicking on the transpose table. Let's remove the blank rows. Just now we learned the method using home remove rows kan? Another method is how we use Excel filter function. Let's filter, go to any of the columns, filter, and we uncheck now. Uncheck now. Once you have done, click OK. And you will get a warning as well, because that particular action is going to add a new step in between existing ones. So just click insert. This is what we are going to do. Then we continue, promote headers. And when you go to the next step, you will say yes, error. Because just now it was having the alphabet new, is unable to recognize. Okay, we are leaving the error at it is, and we want to see how Excel shows the error from Power Query. We want to observe this is for us for learning. Okay, so now we have up to this one. If I'm able to follow up to this one, please type number 8. You will see the result like this one. Type number 8 in the chat. Good. So now we are done. Let's load the result back to Excel. We go to Home, Close and Load. And ta-da! How Excel shows error? Excel shows errors as blank. So, okay, so next time when you see somehow the data is not there, it could be having error inside Power Query. It's just for you to know. So if you're able to see this result in Excel, please type number 9. Type number 9 if you're able to see this result. Yeah. Good job, good job. Well done, well done. So you can observe, let's recap. So what we have learned just now is reusability. You can see how we keep on repeating these three concepts. We use the same query for version 2 and version 3. And whenever it has new data, like the one at the bottom, is able to get the new data in. That's called scalability. In between, we need to add on additional step so that the whole thing works again. That is called maintainability. Again, this is why we want to use, I want to keep on re-emphasizing reusability, scalability, and maintainability. So it's a very good reminder for us. Whatever thing we are doing or which method we are choosing, we want to make sure it has these three criteria. Yes, you could remove the blanks. Yes, thank you, Pang. Yeah, we could remove the blanks. Remove the errors. Remove the errors. Yeah, and in some situation, some company they want to keep the errors or they want to change the error to zero. It depends. It depends. Okay, there's many options. Many options. Now we have done this part, and now we are going to the final learning for today. So I'm going to close this file without saving. And the final learning is the last one, yearly summary. Let me open this file. You did not need to open now. Let me open this one, yearly summary. Type in the chat what's so interesting about this one. And again, whenever we are working with the data, remember ROCK, we are working on the R, rectangle. Type in the chat what is not so mm, what makes this data not easy to analyze? Yeah, type in the chat. Double headers. Uh, and not vertical. Yeah, it's horizontal. Yes, very good. It's horizontal. It's not double headers. Uh, it's supposedly to be like this one. Let me transpose. Transpose. It's supposedly in this way. Supposedly in this way. Okay, it's horizontal. What else? After transpose, what should we do? What else? It has a custom item. Whenever it has new item, it will go towards bottom. And we have the years on the top. The years may have new additional years coming in. So that means the data will go towards right side. So it expand all direction. So we are going to bring these two down to have two columns by themselves. So one column for the year, another column for the sales. Okay, good. So this is what we could see on the version 1. Yeah. So let me close without saving and let me open the version 2 data. What is the obvious difference between version 1 and version 2? Type in the chat. What's the obvious difference? Blank rules. Oh, okay, blank rules. We are going to experience something similar like what we have gone through just now. It's a blank rules. Gram. Okay, so let's go to version 3. You are start seeing the pattern. And okay, version 3, beside more blank rows, it has blank columns. Yeah, so you will see is from the a little bit messy data and to go to a very chaotic data. So let's see how we are able to clean up the data, make sure everything goes vertically in Power Query. So let me close this file and let's go to a brand new Excel file. Let's go to a brand new Excel file. If you are in the new Excel file, please type number 1. Type number 1 if you are in the new Excel file. Good. Let's do this together. We go to data, get data, Excel workbook, Excel workbook, browse, and we choose yearly summary version 1. Yearly summary version 1. click Get Data. And on the lower right corner, there's a button called Next. Click on the Next button. And because this is an Excel file, it will ask us to choose a worksheet. Let's choose the worksheet called Yearly Summary. Yearly Summary. And I need to do some correction for this data. Which button should I click? Should I click cancel, the one in the middle, or click on the load? Yeah, which button should I click? Please guide me in the chat. Okay, thank you, Tracy. We click the one in the middle. The wording may be slightly different than yours. Mine is transform data. Transform data. So we are inside Power Query Editor now. If I insert Power Query Editor, please type number 2. Type number 2 if I insert Power Query Editor. Good. First, make sure your step only has 2 steps, yeah? And in the apply step, you only has 2, source and navigation. Because different version, the behavior will be slightly different. Some may add few more steps. Whenever you see extra, remove them, yeah? The data, it appears horizontal. I want to make it vertical. So let's go to transform. The third button from the left, transpose. Let's click transpose. Now everything goes vertically. And the first row, I want to make it as a header. Inside transform as well, we use first rows as headers. Click on this one, use first row as headers. And you will notice Excel automatically added a step called change type. Let's remove the last one because this is not the final yet. Let's remove the last one. If you are able to follow up to this one, please type number 3. Type number 3 if you are able to follow up to this. Good. Now, we want to keep these 2 columns vertical and 1 column for the year, another column for the summary. So in short, there's 1 column, 2 columns, 3 column, 4 column. So that means there are 2 columns, it remains vertical based on the current structure. Let's select first 2 columns. First 2 columns, select them. Right click, and choose Unpivot Other Columns. Right click, Unpivot Other Columns. And you will notice the whole thing changes to vertical. Presume we do not want to change the data type for the time being. Let it be. We just want to make sure the structure, everything's vertical. So once we have done, everything changes. If you are able to see 4 columns, please type 4. If you're able to see 4 columns, please type 4. So now we are going to bring this data back to Excel. We go to Home, Close and Load. Click Close and Load and bring it back to Excel. Yes. If you see this data in Excel, please type number 5. Type number 5 if you're able to see this result back to Excel. Yeah. Good job, good job. So now, moment of challenge a little bit. So now I want to challenge you all to do this on your own before we do it together. Change the source from version 1 to version 2. And you have 2 minutes for this. Is it 2 minutes is too much? No, yeah, 1 minute should be easy. Should be doable. Push you a little bit. Okay, you all have 1 minute. And 1 minute start from now. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Very good. I'm impressed. Many of you managed to do it in the shorter time. That's good sign. For those of you who are still in progress, that's perfectly okay because that's a part of the learning. Part of the learning. The intention to push you on a little bit is to let you know where are your limit and then you could go further. Good luck, good luck. Okay, now we are going to do this together. I'm going back to Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor. Change the source from version 1 to version 2. Click OK. After I change the version 1 to version 2, what should I do? Yeah, please guide me in the chat. After I change the source from version 1 to version 2, what should I do? Yeah, please guide me in the chat. Okay, click on the navigation one. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of blank rows. Oh. Yeah, we want to check step by step from top to bottom. There's a lot of blank rows. Please teach me how could I remove the blank rows? Yeah. Where? Remove rows with blanks. How? I can't remember. Can teach me? Can remind me or refresh my memory? Yeah, go to home, remove rows. Eh? Remove columns, remove rows, remove blank rows, remove blank rows. I got this warning there. How? Insert. Okay, yes. Click insert. Okay, so it has added. Then we continue. Click on the next step. Transpose. Click on the promoter headers. Click on the next step. Good. Good. So this is done. Let's bring the result back to Excel. Close and load. And ta-da! Yeah, well done, well done. So now let's challenge yourself changing from version 2 to version 3. Now challenge yourself from version 2 to version 3. And you have 1 minute and the time starts from now. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, good. Let's do this together. Now I want to go back to Power Query Editor. Change the source from version 2 to version 3 and click OK. Then after we change the source, It's a good practice to check step by step from top to bottom and just to make sure everything works. Click on the navigation. I see it has a lot of blank rows. We do not need to add the remove blank rows because the next step is already taken care of that one. And now I see a lot of blank columns. I do not want to remove now. We prefer remove blanks whenever it's at the row level. So after transpose, so we are going to remove the null or blank rows. Yep, insert and continue. Promoter headers and unpivot other columns. And ta! So this is done. We go to home, close and load and bring the whole thing back to Excel. Yes! Okay, so this is how we are able to get it done. And you could see whatever thing we are doing up to just now, it's just to make the table vertical so that we are able to analyze it later on. So this is up to just now. And any question I want to ask, not having removed blank columns. No, it doesn't have removed blank columns because the columns, it goes by the header. It doesn't go by the row. It doesn't know the data has exist or not exist in the column level. It doesn't know. Okay, good question. Good question. Can I ask any other question? Nope. Good. So let's have a quick recap what we have learned just now. Just now at the very beginning, we learned about ROCK. We understand there's a rectangle, only one, careful, and keep raw data raw. And we are able to use Power Query to restructure the data so that it makes everything vertical. Additional blank rows, merging, make the whole thing vertical. So what we have gone through just now is everything for rectangle. There are only one, careful and keep raw data raw. There are few things we do not have enough time to cover. So I also have a book called Raw of Data. If you want to know more about this one, you could check out the book or you can PM Turpy, see how I'm able to share what are the additional details for you. Okay. That's a question from Jennifer. Why are we filtering the null instead of applying remove blanks? Both of them are able to achieve the same results. Both of them are able to achieve the same result. It depends on individual preference. They are same result one. Good. After we done all this, the output could be served as a source when we perform. Okay, that's a very good question. You don't need to use this one as a source. Okay, there's a few criteria. So this is talking about Power BI. For your information, whatever thing we are doing at this moment for the Power Query, inside Power BI, we could use Power Query as well. Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Yeah. So it's not necessary to go through this one layer and do the whole thing and then pump into Power BI. It depends. Sometimes we could use Power BI to do all these things. So we could skip one level, one layer in between them. So it depends on the design as well. Good. What's the difference between selecting column we want to first and delete the other blanks? I don't think I understand your question, Felix. What is the difference between selecting the column we want first and then delete the other columns versus okay. Also, there's a two. Either we select the column, we say delete the column, or we delete other columns. Okay, let me put into context. Yeah. I believe this is something like, okay, let's keep one. Let's remove one, remove two, and remove three. Remove means the column I want to remove. So there are two ways. One, I select the column A. So this is the first step. There's one option. Select, keep one, and choose remove other columns. Okay. Another way, I could just do this one. Just remove the remove 1, 2, 3, and just remove them. Okay, so there are two options. The first one, it has higher scalability. It means if let's say I have remove one, remove two, remove three, in the future, I may have a column called remove four. If I have new column remove four, the first option able to remove this column. Meanwhile, the second way is only always remove one, two, three. Whatever outside, it doesn't know. So it depends what is the result you're looking for. There's no definite best solution. It depends on the context. Unpivot other columns. Unpivot columns, we up to just now we use unpivot other columns. In the ROCK, our data may appear horizontally. I want to make sure everything goes vertically. If I want to use this method, right, to convert into pivot table, okay, I convert into pivot table, I'm able to get the year, I could get the value, I could get the customer, like this one. And I want to change this one to sum. Okay. So usually this is the result we get from a pivot table. Unpivot means reverse the process and show us vertical table. Okay, this is the purpose of using unpivot. If I use this one to analyze, not easy because the number of years may keep on changing. If I use formula, I will not able to know which one exactly the years because it may extend in the future unless I need to always change my formula. So that's a tedious one. Hopefully I explain the purpose of using unpivot columns. Good. Okay, Melissa. Okay, hopefully this one give you some idea. Any other questions? If the data source from Excel, how much the maximum rows I can change in okay. Power Query could handle data more than 1 million data as long as you do not load it into Excel. For Mac, it always load it back to Excel. Meanwhile, for Windows, we could load it behind the scenes, or you could load it directly to pivot table. So that pivot table just show the summary. It doesn't show individual row. Okay, Felix. So Windows is much more matured in terms of that perspective. Good. Okay, so if you have more questions, feel free to stay back. Now, I want to invite you to type in the chat. What is the one thing you like the most about session today? Yeah, type in the chat. What is the one thing you like the most about session today? Yeah, chain source is very fun. Okay, ROCK, RSM. Oh, reusability, scalability, and maintainability. Uh, KRDR, keep raw data raw, scalability. You could see so much easy, right? What would you do with the extra time? Okay, good, good. Reusability, scalability, and maintainability. Good job, good job. I'm very happy all of you learned something valuable that serve as a foundation of what you could do even more with the data you have. So this is only organizing the data. So once the data is organized, a lot more things you could do after that. And so now I want to invite you to complete this evaluation so that if there's a way for us to improve this learning. So now I want to invite you. There are two ways. Either I have sent it to the group chat or I also show the QR code on the screen. Once you have submitted the feedback, please type done in the chat. Good job, everyone. Well done, well done. And this session will not happen. There are few people we need to be thankful for. First, we need to thankful to the HRD Corp for their awesome and super initiative, National Training Week. With that initiative, we are able to learn from each other, so we are able to have this kind of session. I'm very, very thank you. And maybe you want to give a hand to HRD Corp for this super duper initiative, NTW. Yes, thank you, thank you. And secondly, I want to be thankful to my colleagues for their support to make sure everything runs smoothly. So they are Wendy and also Steph. Let me type the name, Wendy and Steph. Yeah, later on when you go back to the group chat, you will please say thank you to Wendy and Steph. And they have a lot of works to do behind the scenes. And this training, we have 500 people plus registered. And imagine that kind of email that Steph need to send out. Crazy, crazy. And that's a lot of work. Yeah, need to thank you. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Wendy, for your support. And finally, we need to thankful to a group of people. This group of people is very interesting. I would say very weird. Usually people go to makan, they go for party, they go for movies, they go for shopping mall during holidays. But this group of people, they don't choose to go for this kind of leisure activities. They are here. They are here for learning. Do you know who they are? Yes, you all lah. Give yourself big hand. Yes, well done, well done. Backpack, yes, backpack, yes. Well done, well done, well done. Good job, good job. I really salute all your learning. And beside this kind of learning, and if your organization, your company or your friend's company is looking for Excel training, do reach out to Wendy, and Wendy is able to make the things work to make sure you are able to make your work faster and easier. And the best thing is, you could go home on time. Okay. Okay. With that, take care, everyone, and I see you when I see you. And if you there's a group, WhatsApp group, make use of the WhatsApp group for positive learning and communication. And yep. If any other question, feel free to stay back for a while. I will be here to address your question. If not, we have something called AMA, Ask Me Anything. It's happening in 2 weeks' time in 12th of June. If I remember correctly, it's on the Thursday. It's on the evening. Stay tuned in the group. There's more news or update in the group as well. So with that, take care everyone and enjoy your holidays, whichever left to you. And bye.